Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Y'all know why y'all here. Anything I say is alleged and in my very, 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 very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is ever personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in my description box. So I'm going to be talking Sunny's live. This is something I wanted to talk about a few days ago. I just haven't had time, and I still technically don't have time, but I wanted to take away a couple of things. So I'm going to quickly recap some things she said, and then I'm just going to give my commentary on it. So she basically wanted to recap because she didn't do a video regarding the episode that aired a couple of weeks ago with Nell and Mel's, big fallout discussion, if you will. So wanted to discuss that. So Sunny says that she felt that Mel and Nell's friendship is unraveling. Basically, Sunny said that she is the type of female that she understands that different friendships can have different peaks and valleys. You can have an issue, you can have a bump in the road, but basically, if you are serious about that friend and you care about them and they mean the world to you, you are going to check them in private. You're not going to put them on blast publicly. And she said, as it regards to Trish, now she didn't say what she actually confronted Trish about, but basically said when the cameras weren't rolling and she knew she had an opportunity to have Trish by her lonesome, she basically asked Trish, okay, what is your problem with me? What is your issue with me? Let's get to the bottom of it. But Sunny didn't say in this particular video, like, whether or not her and Trish got to the bottom of it or why Trish felt a certain way about her or kind of what the outcome of that was, unless it's going to be something that is going to play out on the show. I don't know. Then also, Sunny wanted to say that she felt like she was watching two different shows. She feels that when she sees certain cast members and how they replay different conversations and replay different things that happen, how it's totally different from what actually was there, what actually did happen, what actually was said. And, considering that Sunny was there for the girls' trip and then seeing the Destiny and Martell conversation on the broken park bench and everything else of struggle, she just couldn't believe how easily, somebody can just literally, do something that's a complete 180 from something else, right? And so she said she couldn't make it sense at all and was confused. She said, as well that she said producers can never force you to do anything. They cannot hold a gun to your head. They can suggest certain things, but if you don't want to talk about it, if you don't want to show up to an event, you have the right to say no. Gave the example of how Mel doesn't always go to everything, and so on and so forth. Also referred to Destiny as old girl. Basically called her crazy. Said, how can you sit up there and call Mel all these names, that she's a terrible friend and she's the worst kind and all of this and that, but then have a scene with Kimmy in which you are trying to invite her to the Dollar Tree field day, you guys. And so she felt like she was at the Twilight Zone in that point, and she just felt like it was crazy. It was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It was dramatics. Then said basically the Kimmy Destiny scene, there was no chemistry there. It was completely forced. There's nothing real about them. No real friendship, nothing of that sort. Threw a little bit of jab that, whether Destiny's trying to make storage units happen or a kitchen happen, everybody's got to hustle somewhere. Everybody's got to make something happen. But it sounded like she was trying to allude to, like, you've been on this show for years and you're still trying to make fetch happen, and you should be a lot more further along than what you are. And she's not trying to seem like a hater. Said as far as Martell and the big drama that happened last week with Marceau and Tisha, essentially feels that, she really didn't say her opinion, her piece, so for as far as if she feels whether or not Martell is lying per se. But she did as well, and she kind of alluded to a couple of other things, but in reference to Destiny and Martell kind of planning out how this was going to go, she basically said as well, just referenced again that Destiny was all up under Mel on this girls trip, saying how much she loved Mel and wanted to get back to whatever, and even Kimmy thought it. Kimmy thought the same thing, that things were resolved with Mel and Destiny, and all the sucking up and things that she was doing. So she was very confused when now Destiny's saying that there is an issue. So, and she said Kimmy even confirmed as well that Destiny was fighting over the seats to sit next to Mel, to be in Mel's presence, to be in her aura, and to do this complete 180 on, after the fact is weird behavior, and it's very fake. And she said this wasn't scripted, this wasn't acting, but she said that that's one of the fakest types of, displays that she's seen. Also, she feels as though this thing trying to out Marceau, and out if Tisha was sleeping around, wants to know if this is all deflection, if this is fake news, or it's just that Martell is flat out mad that he got caught, he ruined his marriage, and so on and so forth, and ruined his man and his family. And she said that the 20 women thing, the allegation against Marceau having 20 girlfriends, she said obviously that's been there before she was even a producer of the show. And, wants to know if the people think that if Marceau is cheating, or think that it's true, or, and she's just trying to understand, how, or she did read a comment that Tisha goes hard against SUNNI for Destiny because, essentially Destiny is going hard at Mel, but essentially found it interesting that Tisha was on the mute challenge when she was being accused of sleeping with Martell's friend, was accused of cheating on her husband, all these things. She was on the mute challenge, and, and all of the things. And so maybe the contrast is perhaps maybe she doesn't care anymore about the cheating allegations, or again, like it's been alluded, the cast is, trying to mince their words around Martell because they know that at any point he can just completely unclip the gun and let it all out. And then she says, when Tisha says to show proof of cheating, she's like, do guys really keep proof of their cheating? They're trying to do everything not to expose the fact that they're cheating, and would delete anything that would be considered proof of said cheating. And so essentially she feels that Martell, once everyone else is caught, made reference again that Destiny tried to blackball Mel with the ambush of Alondra, and, didn't know whether or not that was Martell's cousin. Then I wanted her to answer this question so bad on whether or not the Scott men like Mel, and I'll say why in a little bit here. She really does not want to speak on the revenge piece. She doesn't want to speak too much on the case because she feels as though she doesn't know too much about it, and feels as though she, found out after the fact and everything else. And she confirms that some of the cast members have seen the sex tape, you guys. Some of the cast members have seen the cast tape, and then sex tape, and basically said, wasn't he found guilty? Wasn't he convicted? That's not an opinion, that's facts. And then there was an interesting question that was asked about, does the cast, whether it's Kimmy, Tisha, whomever, do they ever ask Mel, how the kids are doing, even if they're not filming and they have some downtime? How is Mel doing? How is Mel feeling? Like, just anything. And basically, SUNNI said ever since she's even been a producer, she cannot think of one time on or off camera or a deleted scene or anything else where anybody basically gives a crap about anything going on in Mel's life, let alone her kids. And so, she said there was nothing significant of that she could remember. And so, you know, she says that although she came in later on the show as a producer, she feels like it's weird how there's just no empathy, there's no sympathy at all on any capacity towards Mel. And, you know, she doesn't know if it's just out of respect to just not say anything about the kids, but just to not even have any sympathy or wonder if the kids are okay. But it's like, even if you just feel away towards Mel and you don't feel sorry for her or whatever else, and, you know, Sunny's coming from the perspective, like, listen, I'm on the outs with the people. The people obviously don't like me. The people are bigging up, you know, Destiny, who she references as the real homewrecker. And, you know, essentially, she's taking her biases out of it and just saying, Mel's obviously life has been on complete display for everybody to see. The destruction of her marriage, the reveal of the mistress, the side baby, all these things, and, you know, the custody battle, the battle with this revenge P, all these things that keep playing out on national TV, and there's nothing that you feel in any capacity at all. She said that she did not do any research on the show. She never watched any episodes or anything like that. So all of her interactions with the people, she was wanting to take at face value because she didn't want to have any preconceived notions or any type of, you know, opinions formed in advance before she got to meet people that was going to sway her opinion on the people. So nonetheless, you know, felt as though, and so she said she doesn't hate Martell, and she still doesn't hate Martell, but she said she would hold him accountable about his cheating, which is kind of ask, you know, why is it that you cheated? Why did you do what you do? And, you know, and all of the things. So, but yeah, nothing, no interaction about the kids, and that is just very, 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 very weird. Right? And so then briefly mentioned as well about Kimmy just not intervening in really a lot of the drama and basically just saying, you know, if it's not with me, then it is what it is. So just a couple of things I wanted to say on this. It is very shocking because I believe it is one of Tisha's daughter's birthday that would have been yesterday, and it looked like she was setting up a sleepover of sorts for maybe some of her daughter's friends. And I thought, and I remembered this even back in season 1, where there was an episode in which, you know, or maybe it was season 2. I can't remember if it was towards the end of season 1 or season 2. But essentially what happened was Mel and, you know, Tisha had their fallout or whatever. But basically, you know, still wanted to invite, you know, Tisha's daughter to Mel's daughter's party, even though her and Tisha were not on good terms. And I believe Maurice and Kimmy were still going to go to this party. I think it was season 2. It might have been season 2 because that was when Tisha's mom was there. So that was when Tisha's mom was telling Kimmy, "Are you Team Scott or Team Holt?" And it's like, why does somebody need to be Team Holt just because they're going to a kid's party? Like make it make sense. But I couldn't help but think when Sunny said that and said that there's no questions about the kids, there's no discussion about the kids or nothing. And it's very weird considering on this show, these kids hung out with each other. Like there was a real friendship here, you guys. That's what's so crazy to me, is that this cast has allowed the social media commentary, the YouTube, blogger, Facebook, Instagram commentary, whatever their friends and family are saying, they've let all of these various opinions come in and dictate how they are going to move on the show. And if they feel, hey, enough people hate Mel, hey, we can all band together and just treat Mel like crap on camera too. And maybe we can do it enough times to where she could just have enough and want to quit the show. Which Mel has said that she has felt that way before on a previous occasion where she wasn't sure whether or not she even wanted to come back. So she has felt it. She has felt this energy from the cast. But what I don't understand at this point is all this negativity, all of this fighting, all this back and forth, when is something going to give? When are you guys going to just have a scene where everyone's getting along? Like, I literally, just saw again the episode season 1. I believe it might have been episode 4, I want to say, where Tisha and Marceau planned the 10-year anniversary dinner for Mel and Tell, even though they'd already been to that restaurant before. And Tisha, everybody, even before they get to the restaurant, Maurice's face lights up when he sees Mel, like, is so excited to see her. Marceau is staring Mel down. Like, it is like, and then what I found interesting too was the positioning of how the couples were sat in this scene, right? When they finally got seated for the dinner. Mel and Tell were in the center, right? In between Kimmy and Maurice and in between Tisha and Marceau. But it was Mel on her side of the table that was sitting in between Marceau and Maurice. And anytime there was commentary, they kept looking towards Mel to see what her input was going to be, to see what her opinion and things was going to be on things. And I found that interesting, that they looked to Mel at that time, even though technically Martell was their friend, they still looked to Mel for her input. They know she was going to keep it real. They know she was going to say whatever it was going to be said. And I think what the cast was hoping on was that the continued drama of Mel and Tell, they were hoping that they could stay married so that they can continue to throw shade about their marriage and the cheating and everything else, and they could continue to hide behind it. And then when everything else unraveled, they just figured, hey, well, we don't want our business out here, so we're just going to be Team Martell, because Team Martell is the one who actually knows our tea. So therefore, it's not a loss if we just leave Mel alone, and then their wives are going to follow suit, right? They're going to follow suit because obviously Kimmy never saw it for Mel, so she's not going to care, what happens to Mel. And we know Tisha at one point really wanted to be Mel's friend, but you have her mom who just hates Mel's existence, like Stormy's mom. So that friendship was never going to be what it needed to be. I mean, anybody else can say anything crazy and reckless about Tisha. Martell is literally calling her 304 in this upcoming episode, and Tisha's mom's on the mute challenge and still doing hate speech to Mel. All because she talked about how Tisha didn't learn how to speak from her mom. Which is minimal than somebody basically calling you a 304 and outing your past with other people and, basically trying to say you had a nasty reputation before. Make it make sense. But, it's interesting as well that SUNNI confirms that the revenge P, that the video is true, that this isn't just a text message, even though she doesn't know the context of the case. Marceau this week even confirmed that there was a video. So I do not understand now why people are trying to twist this back and say that it's just a text message, it was just a screenshot, that they were threatening each other. Well, wouldn't the DA's office have the full record of the text exchange to see what exactly was being said? And if they felt that Mel's commentary, whatever her response was to Martell, was also a threat, where are her charges? Where is the charges for Mel, you guys? If she is all these things, if she is an ABUSER, and she is treating Martell and doing all these things to Martell, where is her warrant for her arrest? Where is Mel's charges? Where is it? This is what I mean. You can dislike or like whomever, but take a step back and just look at the situation for what it is. This woman, she basically had her whole life blown up, and I don't care if or when Mel knew Martell was cheating. The fact of the matter is, however many times she took him back, that's on her. She thought at some point this was going to stop. She thought at some point Martell was going to stop cheating. Martell thought he could be like his cheating friends and continue to have the wife have the, family presence, and then have the mistress of wanting to do the nasty stuff with. And that it was going to be okay, and that he could have it all and still be the star of the show. And he effed around and found out that was not the way. But my point is, Mel lost everything. Mel had to literally start from scratch. Mel literally had to, build herself back up from the ground to make something of herself, to have all of these businesses and provide for those 4 children, because she knows that Martell's broke behind could not. She didn't even bother asking him for alimony or child support because she knew it didn't exist. So with all of that being said, how can you sit here and not give Mel any grace just because you're pissed off at the fact that she's beefing with some of your faves? But you can't even look at it and take a step back and say, wow, Mel has really been through a lot on this show. And to have this divorce that has happened nearly 5 years ago, and you still have an ex-husband that is still trying to take jabs at you, is still trying to contact you, that has nothing to do with the children, is still trying to make your life an HELL, and is now using Destiny and others to smear your name, smear your reputation. It's not okay. It is not okay, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it. It is not okay. And the fact that Destiny actually was a real friend of Mel's, I would say even more of a real friend than Kimmy, and even to an extent Tisha, that they seemed really thick as thieves. They were literally going on double dates with LeBerick and Destiny. This was like a thing with them. So to go from all of that, and you do a 182, Destiny, and you're saying maybe you need to consider Mel an ABUSCR too, and you're saying that she had respectful cheating seminars with the mistress, who is continuously putting her on blast and calling her all types of names and revealing disgusting things and rumors about Mel's childhood that have never been spoken on before by anybody. And you guys think it's all okay because you don't like Mel. And then, Sunny, the other piece that I wanted to comment on is the switch up of Destiny as it pertains to how she was all over Mel on this girls trip, and then the moment she touched back down in Huntsville, it was back to the anti-Mel stuff. So here's what I think happened, right? I think what Destiny was hoping for was she was hoping to basically leverage Stormy still being pissed at Mel, and Stormy remaining on the show and being the main attack dog against Mel, while Tisha and Destiny could hide their hands. They were still going to be messy and shady behind Mel's back, but I think what Destiny was hoping, since Stormy's the Leo, she's the fire sign, Stormy's going to say whatever, right? And Destiny can hide her hands. She can throw rocks and hide her hands and not be the attack dog. Once Stormy quit the show and Destiny got wind of that, Destiny had to change course because she realized that she can't just rely on this Moses and, Sunny storyline, and she needed to latch on to something else that was going to continue to get her screen time. And like Mel has said on several occasions, in particular on her recent TikTok lives with the red phone, is that she has been told by cast members that they told them essentially, if you want screen time, if you want to see yourself in scenes on the show, the best way is to go after Mel. And it's interesting to me that everybody's always like, that the cast is transparent, that they need receipts and da-da-da-da. Nobody has come out and refuted that fact that Mel has said. Not one cast member, past or present, has got on any of these platforms, as much as they like to lurk on these social media streets, and said that Mel was lying. And said that Mel, was, making something up. So that told me right then and there what type of time Destiny was on, and she was willing to lie about details about Mel and Martell to satisfy her friendship and her new loyalty to Martell and his mistress. So that told me that she basically pivoted. She was going to continue to be two-faced towards Mel. That was always going to be a given. But I think she was hoping that she could pretend to be Mel's friend and use from Mel whatever she felt that she could absorb. And then at some point down the line, turn on her again. But with Stormy quitting, that ruined Destiny's plans. So she had to be back on the full-on attack and anti-Mel, since Stormy was the bulldog and is no longer there, and Tisha really didn't have any issues with Mel this season, so it would make zero sense for out of nowhere to Tisha to come at Mel, right? And then Sunny saying one other thing that I wanted to talk about as well, about how awkward the Kimmy and Destiny scene is. Well, Kimmy has said herself that she doesn't like Destiny and was never going to like Destiny. Remember, Destiny came on the scene trying to buy Kimmy's friendship. Kimmy saw through Destiny and who she was from a mile away and said that she was never going to be Destiny's friend. So it was odd that she basically, because Tisha cussed her out for going out on a double date with Moses and Sunny, basically told Kimmy that she needed to get in line and be mad at Sunny too. But I don't really think, Kimmy dislikes Sunny as much as people want her to. I think she's just going along with the crowd. And this is the part that I don't like as well. And I do like that Sunny pointed this out. She said that Marceau is going to march to the beat of his own drum, right? And that he's probably one of the least scripted cast members and the least fake cast members, whether you love him or hate him. And that is interesting because you would think that if Marceau felt that way for real, he would have, not condoned the foolishness of Martell a long time ago. But if you are there when Martell is doing the foolishness and not condemning it, or perhaps maybe you're partaking in it too, where is the energy? Where's the smoke? And if you really cared about Mel and cared about her well-being and cared about, this family unit, this family structure, where was the energy to, have any empathy, have any sympathy for Mel? It's an all-out hate on her, hate campaign on her. And it's absolutely disgusting. And it's interesting because it's the people who hate Mel who are saying that anybody who defends her or who is a Melameter or who is in support of her, that they're the people who are negative and evil and mean-spirited. And I'm just like, make it make sense. You are calling Mel every name but the child of God. You are attacking her. You are, saying disturbing things, making disturbing allegations about her, believing anything negative about her with zero receipts, just to enrage your hate even further for her. Meanwhile, there's receipts to, prove all of these other things that Mel has been saying all along about these cast members, in particular that they do not like each other and they do not see it for each other and they do not hang out with each other like that outside of filming, like Bell Collective now apparently does. You guys are mad and feel that Mel needs to be off the show. Well, guess what? What are they going to talk about if Mel's gone? That's the whole thing. Their whole thing is going after Mel. And that is why people are calling it out, and that is why they are mad at certain bloggers and calling certain bloggers biased and all these things. No. We're all watching the same show. It just seems certain people have different interpretations of what they want to flip to push their narrative. But if many people can see and take a step back that something's not right here, that something is abnormal here, you would want, if you're an actual fan of this show, you would want the cast to get along. Because that is more entertaining than to see all of this negativity and all of this discourse. It may be a funny scene here and there of somebody getting dragged, but it is too much negativity all of the time. It is too much darkness all of the time. There is no light at the end of the tunnel with this show anymore. And that is what's missing. There, at least in the earlier seasons, was a decent balance of the drama, and you could still see a little bit of the friendship of the comeback group in the core six. Now it is non-existent. Now, because Martell, like I said, he doesn't have Mel to bark at anymore. Now he has to threaten to release all the information that he has on everybody else, as a last resort to still get some scenes in here. But nonetheless, that's all I wanted to say. Oh my gosh, this is a long video for me. But I wanted to just get everything out that I wanted to say in my little recap of what Sunny's live and what she felt. And again, I can't believe, them not even asking about Mel's kids. Like, that is just very weird behavior. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.